Fight fans, so we got ourselves interesting news that recently just popped up. We got ourselves Jon Jones possibly coming back. Guys, what do we say to that? I mean, we've been wanting Jon Jones to come back for quite some time. This guy's been scheduled to come back multiple times. He's been possibly talking about coming back multiple times. He has not had a fight since I want to say February 2020. 2020. There you go. February 2020. Since before the pandemic. Can you believe that, guys? It's been that long. He is not scheduled to come back until March of this 2023, this coming year. So that's big news, guys. That's big news. Before it was always rumor, it was always speculation, it was always something possibly about his return. But now this is straight up 100% accurate news. This is one coming from a lot of media people. This is coming from a lot of podcasts, a lot of different outlets it's coming from. So this is some serious stuff we're hearing about. And there's also a possible opponent. We've been wanting him to go against the actual king of the middleweights the king of the heavyweights right now, which is Francis Ngannou. We want him to go against him. And then of course there was all the speculation of him possibly going against Stipe. Well, it turns out that it looks like they're looking into an opponent of Curtis Blaydes, which is actually a really good opponent, a very good tough challenge. Why? Because Curtis Blaydes is actually a really good wrestler and is actually a really good striker as well. Unfortunately, he has lost quite a few fights regarding from like Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou and such, but he's also won a few himself. So it would actually be a very fun fight. Not the opponent I would have chosen outside of Stipe and outside of Francis. Of course, 100% my number one choice is Francis. But be that as it may, I would love to see him and Cyril Gane. Both of them being high technical strikers. Cyril Gane is that kind of kickboxer, high level kickboxer and such. And I would have definitely loved to see how that would have transpired, because Cyril Gane is pretty big as well. And, but I guess because of the stylistic and the wrestling and with Jon Jones with his takedowns and such, it would have been, it might be a more of a easier challenge for Jon. Not saying it would be 100%, but I feel like it, because guys, we also got to consider this, because we always hear like, oh my God, Jon Jones is gonna ragdoll everybody. Jon Jones can actually go through everybody. Jon Jones is gonna completely dominate everybody. But we also got to take into consideration that this is Jon Jones. One, he's been out of action for 3 years. This is Jon Jones in a new division, a heavyweight division. So just because he's big, he has yet to really play around with his weight. We don't know what he's gonna look like. We don't know about the ring rust. We don't know about the way things are going to transpire for him, because is he going to be able to carry that weight much easier on himself? Is he going to be able to hold that weight and move around? Is his cardio going to be depleted? Is, all these other different things, all these different scenarios we got to ask ourselves before we even look into him, because all these other guys are used to fighting at this weight. They can move around. They can fight 5 rounds. They can, they're used to getting hit by these bigger guys. Jon Jones has not really got hit by any big heavyweight. The biggest guys that he has really faced was guys like Daniel Cormier, who was at once a heavyweight and a heavyweight champion, but he was not at heavyweight level at that time. He was a 205 pounder. Then, of course, Gustafsson was a pretty big guy. Anthony Smith's a pretty big guy, but none of these guys are actual heavyweights or even hit like heavyweights outside of DC. But again, DC was like heavyweight at that time. So it's a lot of questions that we got to ask ourselves. It's a lot of things that's coming into this, and we're going to talk about more and more as we get closer to that March, and if this is actually 100%, because they actually have not said it 100% yet. I know they're trying to get Francis in there. I think that's why it's taking so long and such. But I really, really hope it is, because I do, just like you guys, I do miss Jon Jones just like everybody else does. Jon Jones did bring some excitement into the fight game, and he definitely brought in some his fighting style and his way he was able to carry himself in just that trash talk that he brings into the fight game as well. It really, really brought a lot of fun into the fight world, I guess you could say. Like I would have always wanted to see him against Israel Adesanya, and the way that the rivalry they had with Daniel Cormier and Rashad Evans. It's so much more fun with Jon Jones being back. But with that being said, guys, what do you guys think? Do you think Curtis Blaydes is actually a good opponent? Do you think Jon Jones is actually going to come back in March? Do you think they're going to wait it out until Francis Ngannou comes back? Let me know in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.